Hey guys, how's it going? It's Sean. So in this video, I'm going to share with you some really fun, interesting questions that you can ask when speaking with native English speakers. These questions will help you to create an interesting conversation, to make new friends, to make better business contacts, or to make a better impression on someone romantically when speaking in English. Of course, when meeting someone new, it's always important to ask what their name is. Hey, how are you? I'm Sean. What's your name? Hey Sean, I'm Ben. Nice to meet you. And sometimes it's good to ask where they're from. Where are you from? But after that, many people go on with asking boring, repetitive questions that everyone hears all the time. Do you come here often? How about the weather these days? How old are you? What do you do for fun? Do you like sports? Oh, I'm sorry, did you say something? These questions are not really that interesting and don't often lead to memorable conversations. Instead, you want to stick out. That's right, you want to stick out and make a more impactful first impression. Now, before we begin, if you're interested in me and what I do, definitely sign up for my email list. By doing that, you will stay up to date on all the interesting projects and events that I'm doing. This is the best way I have to contact you if I have a big update to share with you guys. Once again, the link's down below to sign up for my email list. So in this video, I will share with you 6 questions that you can use when talking to someone brand new that you've just met. Then I will share with you 3 questions that you can use after having talked to someone for a few hours or a few days or just with your friends, people who you already know. So let's begin now with the 6 questions you can use when talking to someone you've just met. So a lot of people often ask the question, what's your hobby? This is not a terrible question, but it's a bit limited. Not everyone has a good answer to the question of what's your hobby. Also, it really sounds like a textbook to ask someone, what's your hobby? Instead, ask people this. So, what do you do to relieve stress? What do you do to relieve stress? This is a much more interesting question because there are many things people can do to relieve stress, and some of them might include their hobbies. So, what do you do to relieve stress? These days I'm really into weight training, but I also really like to go hiking, and sometimes I like to unwind by just playing some board games with friends. It really helps me to relieve stress, you know? One thing you can do when starting a conversation with someone in English is to ask for a recommendation. People always like to help other people, and when they can give their recommendation on something, it makes them feel good. And it also can help to start an interesting conversation. So ask for a recommendation. Can you recommend any good restaurants around here? Can you recommend anything fun to do on the weekend? Can you recommend any good nature around here? Can you recommend any good restaurants around here? Yeah, there's an awesome Mexican place just like 5 minutes from here. You should definitely check it out. Their guacamole is amazing. Another great question you can ask is about what shows they're watching on Netflix. Here's a great sentence you can use. What's the last great show you binge watched? Binge watched. This means to watch a series from episode 1 to the last episode over the course of a few days or weeks. You really like that show, so you binge watch it, one episode after the next. What's the last show you binge watched? And if you haven't seen that show, then you can ask why they liked it so much. What's the last show you binge watched? I just finished watching this show called Band of Brothers. It's about soldiers in World War II, but it's so well made. Have you seen it yet? So, when meeting someone new, we often ask them what they do for a living, right? Well, here's a much more interesting way to do that. You can ask, what's something that people often misunderstand about your job? This one's a bit long, right? Let me say it again. What's something that people often misunderstand about your job? This is so much more interesting than, what do you do for a living? It's giving them an opportunity to talk about something that they never get to talk about. I guarantee you this is going to start a much more memorable conversation for them and you. What's something people often misunderstand about your job? Well, a lot of people think that YouTubers have this crazy, amazing life, but it's actually quite lonely. You know, you do a lot of editing alone, you have to make subtitles, coming up with ideas. I actually spend most of my time working alone. The next question you can use when talking to someone is, what first impression do you usually give off to others? What first impression do you usually give off to others? This is a really fun way to get to know about that person, to listen to their stories, to listen to their thoughts about what everybody thinks of them, how everybody judges them. What first impression do you usually give off? A lot of people say that I'm a bit intimidating because I'm tall, I guess, but once they get to know me, I'm actually a really warm and friendly person. The next question that I want to recommend to you all is to ask them about their MBTI. What's your MBTI? What's your MBTI? Also, a little bonus for everyone. I wonder if anyone can guess my MBTI. Let me know down in the comments. What's your MBTI? Me? I'm a WXYZ. What about you? But if you're not interested in MBTI and you don't know your type, or you ask the other person and they don't know their type, you can just ask this. Are you more of an extrovert or an introvert? Are you more of an extrovert or an introvert? Are you more of an introvert or an extrovert? I'm definitely more of an introvert, so I don't really come out to big parties like this very often. How about you? Now I want to share with you 3 questions that you can use when you've already been talking to someone for a few hours or a few days and you're not just getting to know them for the very first time. You've been talking for a bit now. What's your earliest memory? What's your earliest memory? You'll be able to talk about your past, your childhood, maybe it will trigger other memories, and yeah, you're gonna have a lot of fun with this question. Highly recommend it. What's your earliest memory? I remember playing with Legos in my living room while my sister was watching Janggu. My next question to start an interesting conversation is, do you believe in ghosts? Do you believe in ghosts? Many people are a bit fascinated by ghosts, and I think almost everyone would like to share their opinion on whether they think ghosts are real or not. A variation of this you can use is, do you believe in aliens? So guys, do you believe in ghosts? Let me know in the comments down below. Do you believe in ghosts? Yes, I do believe in ghosts. The reason is, I am a ghost. So the last question I have for you guys is a bit of a long one, but also extremely interesting. Here it is. If you could go back to university and choose a new major, what would you choose? If you could go back to university and choose a new major, what would you choose? Some people have regrets, some people just want to learn more, but I promise you this will always turn into an interesting conversation. If you could go back to university and choose a new major, what would you choose? I'd probably choose programming. No, you know what? I think I would choose to learn a new language. That would be pretty useful, you know? Oh, there's so many good options. What about you? Alright everyone, thank you so much for watching. I really hope this video was valuable and helpful to you all. If so, please let me know in the comments down below. Also, don't forget to sign up for my email list if you're interested in me and what I do and you want to hear about the next big update that I have for you guys. Alright then, once again, I'm Sean and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.